Rent-A-Friend, and today I'm recommending another book by C.S. Lewis. It's called The Great Divorce. Lewis wrote this book in 1945 in response to an author named Blake, who wrote The Marriage of Heaven and Hell. Lewis's book is a response to that error. Blake's error is the philosophical belief that all roads lead to God. They view the roads of life like radii of a circle. If we keep going down any path, we will eventually end up in the middle. This argument will eventually make evil into good. Lewis is arguing against this philosophy. Now, unlike a lot of Lewis's books, this is not just a series of lectures on philosophy. This is sort of a story that's sort of a dream. And he tells you off the start that this is a dream. You're not expecting that he's depicting the real world. He's not actually intending to depict heaven and hell accurately. He's just giving you sort of a picture of how he views good and evil, heaven and hell, and the relationships between these things. And he does it in the form of a weird story. The story is this. He's narrating the story from the first person. And he finds himself in line to get on a bus in hell. But hell is not the cartoonish, fire-ridden cave depiction that you find in cartoons and medieval artwork. Hell is this just dull, dreary, gray town where everybody sort of has whatever they want, but they don't want to be near each other. And so the town is ever increasing, and people are just bickering and moving away from each other. It's a town where literally whatever you want is given to you, and everybody has everything they want, but they're miserable. And so this bus offers them a ride to heaven. And so they get on the bus, and they go to heaven, and the story is what happens when all these different people on the bus get out onto the fields of heaven in the Great Plains far away from the kingdom, and they meet people that they knew, or they meet angels, and they have to sort of deal with what is it that took them to hell in the first place. So for a lot of people, it's some kind of addiction. And it can be an addiction to something or an addiction of self-worship, self-importance. And Lewis watches these characters interact with each other, and eventually his character also interacts with somebody, and he talks about, well, why is it these people are choosing to go back to hell? Why would they not continue on? And that's what the book is about. It sort of answers the question, why is it that anybody would wind up in hell if the gift of heaven is free? And Lewis shows you, he's like, well, you have to accept that gift. But in order to accept it, you have to make sure that there's nothing that you're holding as more important. This is why the first commandment is, you have to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and have no other gods before him. Because if there are other gods that you put in front of the real God, you won't see him and how great he is. You're just going to see this thing that you want. The ring that Gollum has is very similar to what all of these people want. It's something simple. It's something that in itself is not evil. There's nothing evil about a ring. There's nothing evil about wanting to correct your husband or raise your child or be noted as a great artist or a great author. But Lewis shows how all of these things that are in themselves good, when put up as an idol, stand between the person and God, where they will grasp that idol so tightly that they'd rather go to hell than set it aside and go to heaven. Now, I know that sounds kind of heavy. The book is actually kind of a fun read. It's serious at times, certainly, but it's got enough whimsy and entertainment and joy in it that it really is a fun read. So I recommend this book a lot. So The Great Divorce. The reason it's called The Great Divorce is partially in response to the book The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, where someone said, well, the only reason why we see heaven and hell or God and Satan or good and evil as different is because we just haven't completed our journey yet. And Lewis says, no, you're insane. Here's the truth. There is no marriage between heaven and hell. Those things are as far divorced as any two things can be. That's what the title means. So I recommend the book The Great Divorce by C.S. Lewis. Check that out, and if you think it's awesome, recommend it to somebody else. And thanks for letting me be your Rent-A-Friend.